what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 74, volume 4 of a special March Madness edition of Big Fan. My name is Chad Easton. I'm a big fan of the Thursday opening day of the tournament when every bracket is pristine and all who participate know that, quote, this is my year. I'm also a big fan of the guy who loses 48 of his 64 teams in round one, but still holds on to hope that he can win it all if Gonzaga can just pull it out, knowing 3/4 of the country also has Gonzaga. And finally, I'm a big fan of another March Madness trip in the books. Different environment, different group of dudes, but in the end, the same wonderful adventure.
Thank you, Chad. My name is Hank Eimer, and I'm a big fan of van drivers named Greg. Guys Weekend, where you get to duet with your co-host. And MLB baseball is back, baby.
It is back, Hank. I knew you'd be excited, but I am excited about something, getting back in the studio, and for us, being able to share with our audience the wonderful weekend we just participated in.
We spent it together.
We certainly did.
We don't always get to do that.
No, and actually that was the first time we probably spent more than like a 24-hour period. You know, we've done a day thing and a day, spend the night thing, but never a weekend thing. So,
right.
So where do we start, Hank?
Well, we could start let's just give people a timeline here, okay? So
Go for it.
this is Thursday. You've done it to the beach for years and years and years.
Yes.
We have been down to the beach and kind of combined those superpowers. You know, one group of friends, your guys from your class, my guys from my class, and we've done that before. But this time we went to a different location. We went to Tennessee. We have a good friends that have brothers that have a family lake house in Tennessee, and they invited us all there to watch some games. Right. So some of us left Thursday early. Some of us had to leave later on Thursday, some Friday. But all in all, there was a commitment to getting there and fulfilling a lot of fun, right?
Yes.
So I can't say anything about your Thursday because I got there at about 11:30 at night. And I will tell you, you are well on your way.
Well, we just wanted to live it, get the whole feel and adventure of the weekend, March Madness week started. So we got there a little bit earlier than everyone else.
Noon?
Yes, while other people were, hiking through the woods, or I guess you were working. No, you were coaching baseball or doing something. Watching baseball. Watching baseball. Other people were driving Porsches fast through the mountains of Tennessee. Me and a group of other fellas who kind of share our likes
Like-minded.
Like-minded folks. Yes, like-minded folks. We stopped in Knoxville at this wonderful place called the Sunspot and ate a little food, drank a little beer, watched the beginning of the March Madness games. Popped back in the car, took a very scenic route to the lake house, where as soon as we walked in, dropped our bags, walked downstairs to what I call a little slice of heaven, Hank. In the basement of this place where we visited was a freestanding 2021 Golden Tee machine, a pool table, regulation pool table, not the small bar ones, this real big regulation pool table. You had ping pong. You open a door. You're staring at the lake with a brand new dock that was glorious. Fire pits.
Yeah.
Fire pits. I mean, what is... Nothing.
Back screened in porch.
Back screened in porch. It doesn't get much better than this. And so that's where we spent our afternoon, and it was a wonderful start.
Yeah. Well, when I walked in, you guys, like I said, it was 11:30. You'd already had dinner. And
double dinners
yes.
Because
one of our good friends decided to overcook pork. And I will tell you, there's nothing worse than overcooking meat. Right, I would much rather undercook meat than overcooking it, and he did just an awful job. And this poor gentleman really prides himself on this grilling technique. And
he was devastated.
I'm sure,
devastated.
Okay. He should be. Yeah. He should be. So you guys had dinner,
yes.
And when we walked in, let me tell you the scene that I walk in on. Okay, sure. I walk in. To the left is the kitchen, and it has like a island bar, right?
Sure.
A little bit lower than you wouldn't eat at it. It's a bar, right? So you can put stuff on. 3/4 of that bar was covered in alcohol.
What was the other quarter covered in?
I think there were keys.
Yes. I saw one bag of chips.
I think there were keys on there. So, I knew that there were big plans made out for this one. But you guys were already playing poker.
Yeah.
Right? You're already playing poker. And, not to give too much away, but I didn't start with you guys because I just got there. But I ended up buying one of our friends $26.
I think that sounds right.
And I moved that around and made a little bit of money, okay?
Very impressed
And
by your skills on the table, too, Hank.
Thank you.
Let me
Thank
say
you.
this.
So let me tell you this. The funniest part of this whole thing is at the end of the evening, we're counting our cards, and you look like you're counting them with your feet. I mean, you really don't have any business counting your chips
cold.
the way you are.
It's cold in my hands, without gloves on. My hands were,
We were inside, Chad, but it's okay. But you just threw out a number. I swore it was a guess. So I started counting your chips. And you came at me like a spider monkey. You said, "What, you don't trust me? Huh? You playing me? You playing me?" I knew the evening was going to go south right after that. And that's why I went to bed.
Oh, well, Hank, thank you for reliving that fine moment in Chatty's history. But I had counted it. I knew the number. I knew exactly how much I had won or lost. I didn't need someone else telling me. I knew the result. That's why I got a little angry. And it didn't help that it was probably close to 2 o'clock in the morning and we had been, messing around all day. You understand?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, so that's how our Thursday night ended. We roll right into Friday. Y'all go for a run. A couple of us sleep in a little bit. Fella makes us breakfast. Ready for a fine day.
Sure.
Get the call that, guys, this wonderful van's going to pick us up and take us into Knoxville where we can enjoy a wonderful lunch, check out the scenery, maybe go to a bowling alley. Let's play some video games. Let's do something outside of the house.
Let's get out.
Just get out. Let's get out of the house for a little bit. So 12:01, 12:02, guy was supposed to pick us up at 12. Actually, I take that back. He was early. He was early. We're coming out a little bit late.
Mess with Greg like that.
Yes, coming out a little bit late. So a couple of you are already in the van. So I run up the hill, getting ready to walk into the van. And you know what Kat says? "Hi, my name is Greg. Player to player. I know where all the clubs are." That's the first thing. No, actually, that's the second thing he said. "I'm 70 years old."
Yeah.
That's what he said
He did
first,
say that.
right? And so, literally, I've seen him for 2.5 seconds, and this is what he's hit me with. I knew we were in store for a hell of a van ride.
Hell of a van ride.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And what was funny about him is Greg really fancied himself a player, right?
He did.
Fancied himself a player.
Yes.
And when we were riding in that van, I think he was a little skeptical of our energy. Like, I think he wanted us to be, because did you hear when we walked up, he said, "Are you guys musicians?" And then he said, "Are you athletes?"
Yes. He thought he was
Drilling. He thought he was with somebody important.
Someone very, very important.
Important.
Yes.
And I think when we burst his bubble that we were just some random dudes from Hickory, North Carolina, that he was like, yeah. All right. I've seen this act before.
Then it led, once he found out that we were just normal, plain old Joes, he had to go into the story of whom he has driven. And he has quite the clientele. Travis Tritt was just in his van most recently. Yes. And he had a story where Travis Tritt actually invited him back to Travis Tritt's crib after the Country Music Awards. That's pretty big stuff.
You know why? That wasn't an invitation. He asked Greg to drive him back to his house.
Maybe so, but the way Greg made it sound is like Travis personally invited me to come over for a late-night cocktail.
Got
right?
it.
Yeah, but anyway, I didn't tell you guys this. I think I mentioned this to Ben, who gave me a ride home on Saturday. But I got Greg's digits. So Greg and I were changing, numbers. And I'm going back up there in a couple weeks.
Are you?
Yeah. I think we are. He wants to go clubbing.
Okay.
And I said, I'll be your huckleberry. I'll roll with you. Just take me all the finest clubs. Show me around town. And I'm looking forward to it, Hank.
That's going to be one heck of an adventure. I see kind of like a Hangover 6. That kind of adventure with Greg. So
Yes.
I will not be on that adventure with you, but I look forward to the next podcast.
Wonderful. It should be a lot of fun. And anyway, so that's how that adventure started and ended in the van with Greg. We ended up bowling alley. We chose the bowling alley or amusement fun area on spring break in Tennessee.
It's stupid.
4-hour wait to bowl.
Stupid.
4-hour wait. When we pulled up and you saw the parking lot, you're like, what in the world are we doing?
It was ridiculous.
But we did go in and play some games. We rode some motorbikes. We shot some hoop. We did some air hockey. I don't think anyone laser tagged.
Nobody laser tagged or did the obstacle course that was upstairs. Nobody
I was
did
hoping
that.
Tucker would climb up there and get on the rope swing and just swing across the whole amusement park. Would have been awesome, but it
would have been great. But actually, it forced us to go back to the house, which was a good thing.
Which created an afternoon, and I meant to tell you this. That 2.5 hours of sun we had before the sun went down, when we're all listening to music, fire pits going. People are doing what they want to. I think Charlie's got his guitar. People are playing Golden Tee. People shooting pool. Me, you, and I think it was Ben upstairs in rocking chairs looking over the river, playing, and CJ, playing music from our past, new music. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
How great of a time was that?
It was fantastic.
Wonderful.
It led to bad evening.
Happens, but all in all, just a wonderful trip. I was fortunate to get the heck out of there Saturday morning at 8:30. You guys had one more day of fun. Mm-hmm. I had a cruise to a engagement party for my nephew, which turned out to be a whole nother adventure. We'll save for another time.
Okay.
But do you want to tell us how it finished up in Knoxville?
Well, so that Saturday when you left, I came out of my slumber.
Yes.
And right when I grace the stairs coming down, I see the tail end of your body going out the door.
Right.
Because you guys were headed home.
Right.
So I did not get to say goodbye, but I sat down there and gathered my thoughts, drank a Gatorade, and tried to, pull it together for one more day. Went on a run with our good friend CJ, came back. We had brunch, some Bloody Marys.
Lovely.
CJ and his brother went in to get a couple of things at the grocery store and left the rest of us to watch the Carolina game.
Wow. And what a game it was.
What a game it was. And I would tell you, the emotions were high. The beers were flowing.
Yes.
The emotions were high.
That was the early game, I think. I think that was a
12:40.
12:40 tip.
It was 12:40 tip.
Just making
But
sure.
we ended up, getting 22-point lead and watching that dwindle. I knew when they tied that ball game, I had very little confidence that Baylor was not going to win that game.
Sure. So did half the country.
Yeah, everybody thought
everybody,
it.
actually.
Yeah. I mean, when you lose a lead like that, and you lost Manic, and you just lose Caleb Love, and you just thought it was going. But when they started pulling away, I got to tell you, we were around some. At least I had Carolina fans because Will was there, Banks was there. Charlie for most of the game was like a piece of furniture. He was sitting there, but he even got into it. It was incredible.
Unreal.
I enjoyed
was there
watching.
Anybody rooting against Carolina,
No.
which would make it even more fun, though?
No. Who was the?
Too bad I wasn't there.
I know there was one other person there. Mark, and he's a State fan, and he was kind of a butt at the beginning of the game, but at the end he was actually pulling for Carolina.
Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, it was a great, and then we had dinner, we grilled steaks, and we played some Golden Tee.
Wonderful. Yes.
And we went to bed at some point. And because we had to get up early the next day and leave.
Yes, so it sounds like a wonderful ending to a wonderful adventure.
It was.
I don't know if that's going to be continued with you guys. Is the Knoxville going to be the new spot for the March Madness
Maybe.
trip?
It was fun.
Yeah. I could even see, maybe not bringing our whole class crowd to that spot, but maybe we rent a place down there and we do a big adventure together.
Yeah.
That would be an
was
absolute
fun.
blast. So anyway, thank you to the Hines brothers for putting us all up. It was a great, great time. And staying on the bracket, the NCAA, that's the reason we went to the Knoxville. My bracket is destroyed, Hank.
Busted.
So after night or day one, we're watching the games, but we're doing all these other things. I really didn't even keep up with what was going on. I didn't find out till the next day, really. Kentucky goes down.
Yeah.
Iowa goes down.
Yeah.
All these big names. UConn goes down. So my bracket basically was disintegrated after day one. But I started thinking about my daughter and her strategy of doing brackets. Do you fill out a bracket and your son and Reagan and everybody?
Yes.
Yes. So do we do at our house. We do the same thing. So my strategy is really, I watch a lot of basketball. I do it based on facts and figures and what I've seen. Like, I do it that way. and I ended up getting cracked. Olivia's strategy is, let's go down the list of mascots and nicknames. Let's pick out the nickname or mascot that seems funny or seems like odd, and let's take them to the finals.
To the finals,
right?
Okay.
So when I looked at her bracket and I turned it in, she had the Akron Zips meeting the TCU Horned Frogs in the finals with the St. Peter's Peacocks making a run. Well, unfortunately, Akron's out first round. TCU made it to second round, but St. Peter's Peacocks are still in the dance. How fun is this?
That's awesome.
So as we're talking about mascots and all this fun stuff, Hank, I found some interesting facts about NCAA mascots. First of all, let me ask you a question here. What do you think is the most common name for a nickname or mascot in NCAA? You know, there's 200 and whatever teams.
Tigers.
Tigers would finish 3. There's 2 in front of them. Tigers is a great guess, though. 2 in front of them. Very common.
Wildcats.
Wildcats, number 7. Number 7.
Man.
Yeah.
Let me think here.
Think about things that will. See how I'm doing my hands like my arms?
Birds?
That
Chickens?
Bird.
The
Chickens didn't
The
make
hawks.
the top. Hawks. Number 2. One flying creature in front of the Hawks, Hank.
One flying creature.
One
The cardinal.
flying They come in at they didn't make the top 10.
What?
This is a flying animal, a bird of prey.
The eagle.
Yes, Hank.
All right.
The Eagles come in 118 teams are either the golden eagle, the brown eagle, the flying eagle, whatever, right?
I almost said pterodactyls.
Oh, I think there's one, but they'll go through the rest of the list. Eagles 1, Hawks 2, Tigers 3, Lions 4, Bulldogs 5, Cougars 6, Panthers, Bears, Knights, Wildcats, Warriors, and Pioneers. Who would guess Pioneers?
I don't even know a team that's a Pioneer.
Me either. So let's dive a little further. If I were to ask you, Hank, I'm going to bring out my bracket here that is busted. And if I were to ask you go through some of the names, and I'll start with some easy ones, and we'll get into some hard ones. Let's see how good you are. Gonzaga. Do you know who the Gonzaga? What is their mascot?
I can't even think of their name.
They're the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Okay. Let's go to UConn. A common one.
Huskies.
Bingo. Ohio State.
Buckeyes.
Yes. Illinois.
Illini.
Yes. Now we'll get into a little bit harder ones.
Okay.
Seton Hall.
Patriots? No.
Pirates. Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming. I can see their mascot.
Yes. Think of their mascot.
It's a cowboy, isn't it?
Exactly it is, Hank. And as we just dig a little bit deeper, let's find one that, is very obscure. Let's go to Murray State.
Murray State. That's where Ja went.
Yes.
Ja Morant there. I don't know it.
They're the Racers.
The Racers.
Yes, the Racers. So anyway, you could see how much fun we had when we were diving into this mascot thing. But as we dove further, we found some weird, even more weird names for mascots, Hank. We found a little school that were called, maybe in Georgia, Delta State. They're called the Okras. Can you imagine if your mascot was the Okra? What would you do at a football game? Would you dress up like an Okra?
Well, I'm going to tell you right
would
now.
you throw Okra every time it's going to touchdown? No?
Maybe, but I will tell you, it's not just the Okra. It's the fighting Okra.
Fighting Okra.
Okay,
yes.
the fighting Okra.
And how perfect for me, because my favorite thing to eat are little baby Okras.
I know.
Why didn't I go to school at Delta State?
I don't know, but we ate those Okras in our Bloody Marys.
Yes, we did.
They were delicious.
Wonderful.
They were. But yes, there are some very odd names. And there was a fact, I don't know this, like the exact number, but there's only a handful of schools that don't end in an S.
Yes.
There's only a handful, and there's like 6 or something like that, but I don't know which ones they are.
So our fine producer just popped up on the screen here. Something that you and Hank, we would have never known. Dartmouth's, not their official mascot, but their, secondary mascot is Keggy the Keg.
Yes.
He is a beer keg who has green arms and legs. And, I wonder if he goes around and tries to put beer in your mouth as he walks around.
That'd be incredible.
How great would that be?
It'd be incredible.
Yes.
I need a Keggy shirt.
Yes, you do. You need Keggy the Keg. I think when the Hickory Crawdads came out, the Crawdads was one of the most popular hat for that whole year in the nation. People wanted the Crawdads hat,
Right.
Yeah, these mascots are fantastic. And Olivia, keep up your strategy of going off the beaten path by picking mascots to win whoever's your favorite mascot to win the March
Did you ever
Madness.
like look at them and be like, which one's tougher? Like, say it's the giraffe versus the elephant.
It's always what's funnier, like what looks funnier.
Gotcha.
That's how she bases it. Those are my brother-in-law has that llama hat. I think that's the hickory, right?
Yeah. They're, so what we're looking at, our producer pulled up the Hickory Crawdads hat. They pay tribute to a league in Mexico, and for either a week or 2 weeks, they wear like the same colors as the team, and we are the llamas of Hickory.
That is awesome. Do you have one of those hats?
I do have one of those hats.
That
I
is
have
fantastic.
The one that's kind of tealish.
Yeah, very good. I know my brother-in-law has every hat of every minor league team known to man. I know I've seen that one on his head before. So before we leave the bracket conversation, Hank, I didn't tell you this story, but every year there's this group in Hickory that they have this thing called the Calcutta, where you can go and buy a team. They kind of auction off a team, for charity. And so it's been gone for the last few years, but it came back on a very, very small scale, where normally there might have been over 100 people, where this one was like 12.
This podcast is sponsored by Jackson Creative, a custom communication agency located in downtown Hickory, North Carolina, specializing in online content creation. To learn more, visit thejacksoncreative.com. Jackson Creative, we tell your story.
And so, what to do, the auctioneer will call off Gonzaga. How much would someone pay for Gonzaga? Blah, blah, $25, so on and so forth. Well, we go, and I'm going with one of my friends, and, it started at 7. Well, some people had been at the event for a little bit longer than that and had been sipping on Grandpa's old cough medicine a little bit, a little bit longer than I had. So we're at a table with this couple fine gentlemen, and they said, let's say it's Carolina. The bid goes over Carolina, $10. Going once. And the gentleman that, bid on this sitting there, he's got his head down. Going twice. 15. So he starts bidding against himself.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it is. You can't make this stuff up.
It's unbelievable.
Not only did it happen once. We were like, hey, dude, you can't bid on yourself. That's not good math. That's not good strategy. You've already won it. Don't keep bidding it up.
Come on.
3 times, 3 different teams, same kind of thing. What's that guy deserve to do? Lose big, right? So anyway, I thought that was just hilarious. So this is before March Madness even happened. We were leaving for the trip on Thursday. This happened Wednesday. So I'm just ready. I've got to witness this event happen right into our trip. So just fabulous stuff, right?
Yeah,
fabulous
for sure.
Stuff. Yeah. So talk to me about what else you got going on here, because I got a couple other segments I want to hit, but what else you got going on, Hank?
Well, getting back, I think one of the things we talked about is, these trips, we find out a lot about ourselves.
Yes.
We find, normally you go to bed later, right? You may not eat as well, right?
Yes.
So, our bodies just don't absorb like they used to. And I got to tell you, there's a couple of those mornings were tough, right?
Yes.
And I will tell you that these trips, we used to get up at like 7:30 and go play golf.
Right.
On these trips.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm looking you in the face right now, and I'm telling you, if you would have tried to pull me out of bed at 7:30, I would have lost every deposit I had put down to play. I would have cared less about it.
It would have been impossible. There's no way. I completely agree. It's just something we have to battle as we grow older. The 7:30 tee times when you went to bed at 5 and you can pop up and make it at 7:30, out of the question.
Out of the question.
No longer possible.
No.
I mean, I thought it was good that we actually got in a van by noon. I was like, noon, hey, okay, I can handle that. And that was even pushing it for a couple of us.
It was.
I mean, a couple of us, around 11:48, still not in the shower yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But the greatest thing about as we get older, no more 7:30 golf. Because we all agree on it.
We do all agree on
we
it.
don't have to argue anymore. No more 7:30 golf.
No more 7:30 golf. And you know what? Very, very few times do we ever have injuries or police called on us, because that's a good thing. These trips, I did notice that. I mean, very few injuries.
Yes.
Unlike years past, which we'd at least have one.
At least one injury.
At least one injury. And, very, very respectful. I will tell you, though, I think I told you this story. On Friday morning, me and 2 other gentlemen went for a run.
Yeah.
So we get out about a mile away, and there's a lady, and she's got her dog. And she's walking towards us, and she stops the dog, and we thought maybe she was training the dog or whatever. And as we get up closer to her, she looks at us, and she says, "Hey, gentlemen, surprised you're up so early."
You're kidding me.
No.
Wow.
So we were like, ha, 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 put 2 and 2 together. She's the neighbor.
Yes.
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 So we
Wow.
may have been a little bit louder than we should have.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
But that crowd, and we'll get off this, but I just had such a good time because a lot of those dudes, y'all are a couple years younger than us. And, I know you for podcasts and sports and tennis and all this stuff, but a couple of them I don't really, I know of and we've hung out, but I've never spent more than an hour or 2 hours talking with. Man, I got down with a couple of these dudes that, learned things about them that I never knew. Almost wrote a song with Charlie. We changed the lyrics up of a song and almost wrote a whole song. These cool things that can only happen on a trip like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Close
and
quarters.
I learned CJ is not as good of a griller as he professed to be. That is the one thing.
But he may be a better singer.
I missed it, but I heard he's a heck of a songwriter and singer.
Yeah. It was a grand time. It rolled off his lips. The song rolled off his lips like it was written by Dylan.
Give me the context of this, and then we'll get off this because I wasn't there to experience this. So there was music playing in the background, and he would just make up his own lyrics?
Yes. So there's music going on. I think it was Charlie playing his guitar. And we have a friend who is a finance guy. And he was very serious that day, and CJ decided to call him out on, and I think the song was called "I'm a CFO."
This is lovely.
Yeah.
Did anyone record any of this?
No,
Oh.
we couldn't get our phones out quick enough. It was
Gosh.
amazing. But the thing is if you haven't been on a trip with close friends like this in a while, the amount of just crap we talk to each other.
So much junk we
It is mind blowing. And if we brought somebody in that was not
Wow.
from Hickory and know us, they would think we hated each other.
When you and Mike, this was Friday morning when we wake up and y'all got onto something. I don't even know what it was about. CJ's Apple Watch.
Yeah.
The smallest little thing. You're like, what color is your watch? And what color is the band? And what is it? Something gold?
No, rose gold with a
Rose
white
gold
band.
With a white band. And someone said, might as well throw the bands away and make it like a pocket watch. Hank, I was rolling around on the
I
ground.
heard you
was
laughing
rolling
upstairs.
around on the ground. You can't make this stuff up. This is just, you have to be tough-skinned in this crowd, right? Because it's going to come at you at all directions, and you're going to give it too. But you got to learn how to take it too. And CJ was able to take it very, very well.
Oh, did he ever?
Very well.
He got abused.
Oh, so anyway, great weekend, great March Madness so far. Let's before we get off March Madness, Final Four, who you think's going to make it? I'm sure you probably think, can Carolina get there?
No,
you don't think.
I don't think I think they're missing one piece to do it.
They have UCLA next. They play Friday night at 9:45. How about Duke? Coach K, can he get them there?
No.
Coach K, they play Texas Tech on Thursday night, 9:45. That'll be a hell of a game. Both games, I think, are going to be good.
I think Gonzaga is going to be hard to beat.
I think Gonzaga should probably win it all. I can see maybe Kansas, Gonzaga finals, maybe Arizona, maybe Gonzaga in the finals. We'll see how it goes. But it's shaping up to be a heck of a finish to the March Madness. All right, Hank, I'm going to move on to our segment that we haven't had in probably since mid-COVID. And it's hard to think that COVID was, is it 2 years? Mm-hmm. It is 2 years. Anyway, we brought this segment in the middle of COVID. It was called
Taste Buddies. Hi, little buddy. Taste this.
Remember that segment?
I don't remember that weird intro.
All right, well.
Taste this, Hank.
All right, so I'm going to give you a couple options. In a scenario, you tell me, and this, I want you to think about this. 10 seconds to think about it, and then say, this is why. Okay. You're at you're going to taking breakfast to a big client's office. You're going to present to them. Okay. It might be some real estate folks. It might be some buyers. A little seminar. You're going to have them for about 30 minutes. Do you bring in the big thing of bagels and the big bag with the cream cheese and all the knives and all that stuff? Or do you simply bring in the box of donuts? Now, I want you to think about it. Your crowd is 18 people, men and women. Mm-hmm. Their boss is there too. You've got them for about 28 minutes before they've got to get on and do what they do. What do you bring to the table and put down for them for breakfast, Hank?
Bringing bagels, cream cheese,
okay.
all that stuff. Okay.
Tell me why, Hank.
Didn't take much time to do that.
No.
Okay. I think a salesy approach would be with the donuts. You're really trying to.
Everybody brings donuts. That's kind of what you said. That's what you said.
It's kind of a salesman approach. I have an office where people bring us stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Donuts, I don't think it's very genuine.
Okay. You think it's easy? I
think it's easy.
You just went to the drive-thru, picked up donuts.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas
I think that the bagels are, hey, I'm conscious about your health. Okay.
I knew you were going to say that. It's
conscious about your health.
Point taken.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's plenty of people that would do both, but I think the people that are going to eat in the morning, you out of the 18 people, you're going to have 9 eat anyway.
Right.
And I feel like it's a more serious topic. If I sold like printing or something, maybe I would bring donuts. But real estate, you need to have
bring in the big guns.
Yeah, you need a little bit higher.
Here's the negative point to the bagels. You have 28 minutes. Slap the bagels down. Well, it's just not grabbing a bagel and eating it like it is a donut. You got to get the knife out, get the cream cheese, like, you know what I'm saying? Get the butter or whatever you put on the. That takes up time. So when you're trying to engage with the audience and 6 of them are spreading their cream cheese on the bagel, not even listening to a word you're saying, are you really getting your point across? Is it more of a distraction with the bagels compared to simply picking up a donut and placing it into your mouth?
First of all, I can't believe we're making our audience endure this conversation. Okay,
this is why we have 8 listeners. They love this stuff. They love it.
But listen, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But 30 minutes is a long time to talk. I have time to get people to sit down,
fair answer.
know what they're going to do. They don't want to hear me for 30 minutes.
Exactly, they don't.
It's a 10, 12-minute presentation.
Right.
Come on, Chad.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
Do you ever point out to them while they're doing their cream cheese, Susie, light or veggie? Do you ever do
Like what you're doing over there with
Yeah,
the
looking
strawberry.
good with a knife over there. You've done this before, Jenny. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bring some comedy to it.
Yeah, probably a little bit.
Love it. Okay, wonderful. Taste Buddies 2.
Are you ready, Hank?
It's wing night over at the Eimer household.
Love wings.
Yes, you could only have your blue cheese dip or your ranch dip.
This isn't even a question.
Bingo, let's go.
Blue cheese.
Why?
Without a doubt.
Really?
Without
Why?
a doubt. It's no second doubt. It's just, I feel like, I'm going to get on you on this one too. I feel like you have to have just a more sophisticated palate to appreciate it. But I feel like it just brings something different to it.
I'm with you. I'm a blue cheese dude all day long. But on a salad, blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese again.
Really? So I go ranch on a salad,
I
blue
like
cheese on a
funky
wing.
cheese.
Okay, very good. And last but not least, and I know you like to do this. You've eaten a big dinner. You do it every night. Just you're stuffed to the rim. You can't put anything else in your gullet. But there's this nice slice of pie, whatever pie you might like, a lemon meringue or maybe an apple or cherry, who knows. And then a big hunking portion of cake. It's a chocolate cake with chocolate icing, or maybe it's vanilla with chocolate icing, whatever your forte might be. What do you choose and why, Hank?
Pie.
That easy.
That easy.
Why?
I got to tell you, if I had to choose a dessert, whether it's lemon meringue or whatever whatever it is, I just feel like it's not as filling. I feel like that a cake's another meal. I mean, I do.
Yes.
I don't know why it is, but I would always take pie or cake.
I'm always a pie guy too. This is the thing about cake. I don't really eat that much sweets, but occasionally I'll just get this sweet tooth. I want to eat it. Cake sometimes has so much icing. If I eat too much icing, I'll eat the cake.
Yeah.
The icing is just too much for me to bear. Pie, there's no icing. Maybe a little dollop of whipped cream on there, but it's the pie you're eating.
Yeah.
Cake, too much icing.
Yeah, you should probably talk to a cake maker about that. We may know one.
Oh, okay.
That would.
I hope she's not listening to this because she might be very angry at us right now,
she
Hank.
might
Right?
be
All
very
right. So please forgive us.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted, before we leave today, and I'm sure you have one last thing to say, I wanted to ask you this. This is the stupidest thing too, but that's why.
Have you listened to the rest of the show?
Yes, this is why people listen to us, because this is the dumbest stuff that pops in my head and your head. So we had a group of how many people at the Knoxville this weekend?
8, 9.
How many people do you think we would need to get to the number to make a gang? All right, so like the group we were with, it's just a group of friends. Or is that enough to qualify for a gang? If we wanted to become like a motorcycle gang, is 8 enough? Or is that just a small group of friends? Like
What are we trying to accomplish with this gang? I mean, is this gang putting together a swing set for a weekend? Then I think we can get
this
that
gang
done.
is a little bit. So what?
Are we edgier?
We're a little edgier than just putting together swing sets. We might travel around and play a little music, or maybe we're in a gang where we'll run through the mountain. A gang. We'll have the same shirts, same jackets, same headbands. A gang. We're not killing anyone.
Can
We're
you
not
do this
shooting.
with 7?
We're not.
Because I don't sure I want
Are
to
you dropping out of the gang?
Can you do this with 7?
I was thinking, when I was driving over today, like 8. It's a tough number because you've got the president of the gang, then you've got the vice president of the gang, and the treasurer of the gang. That only leaves like 4 other people in the gang.
The underlings.
The underlings. You got to have more underlings in a gang, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say a number like 20? 20 is a good number to start a gang.
Yeah, I think until it gets physical. I think once you start getting in another altercation with
Right.
another
rival
I guess
gang.
another tennis gang is
Yes.
what you're going with.
Maybe. Possibly.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
like a rival gang. Once you guys start having to really get physical with people, I think if you're going to shake people down, take some money. That would be a little bit of an issue with 20. But sure.
And the initiation of the gang too. If there's only like 4 of you, how do you get initiated?
You get
into the
beat
gang?
in?
Yeah, with 4 it's tough. You got to have 20 so you can haze a little bit.
Yeah. Because what if you were doing the beating in and the guy ended up beating you up?
Exactly.
Then he starts his own gang and he takes all your people.
And then you're by your lonesome. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. Like, how many people would it take for us to create this gang?
I have no idea, Chad.
All right, let's
Maybe
start it.
20.
Let's say 20. 20 is a good number.
20 is a good number.
Oh, I'm glad we got through that, Hank.
Wow.
This is how my brain works. It's weird. It
You're a
works in
strange,
very
strange man.
weird ways. Yes. So throw me some strangeness over my way, or let's wrap this thing up today.
Well, the only thing that I have on there, MLB's back.
Oh, yes.
And I got to tell you, the one thing that I'm upset about is Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman
It's a Dodger now.
is a Dodger now. Not that you hate the Dodgers, but they're like the Yankees of the National League. They're buying world championships. And was it the right move for Atlanta? Probably. They probably.
Was it because he required too much money to keep in there?
And statistically, these guys, when they get to a certain age, aren't productive.
Okay.
And so he's trying to get 6 years, and he might have been productive for the next 3 or 4, but you're paying heavy money for those last 2.
Makes sense.
And so they ended up getting a guy that is probably going to be really good, and it was probably the right thing for them to do. But in the grand scheme of things, as a Brave fan, not my favorite thing.
So, but you're excited that the season is almost upon us. They're not losing a game, right? I mean, they're going to play a full season.
They're playing a full season.
That's exciting. So, what a great March is for you. You got March Madness. You have the trip. You got baseball starting. Harris is playing. Are you coaching?
I'm coaching his travel ball team, but he's playing for his middle school, and we are taking beatings.
Oh, is the season already started?
Oh, yeah. So, the thing is about like these travel sports is they take away from rec sports.
Right.
And so kids are like committing to sports early and not playing multiple sports. Right. And, they're not playing rec baseball, which I think is terrible. And, I'm part of the problem because I'm coaching a travel team. But, you had 20 kids try out for middle school baseball, and probably 4 of them had played before.
Wow.
So you're not only you're teaching kids how to catch.
Yeah. When in middle school, they should already know how to catch, and
Sure.
you're just doing.
Yeah, you should teach them to get better at what they're doing.
better.
Now you're just teaching them the game.
Got it.
And so it's been fun to watch the beatings. And the size difference between a 6th grader and an 8th grader. There's a guy on the mound the other day that had a goatee. Scared Harris to death. It looked like he drove his kid to the game. I mean, it is pretty funny to watch, to watch that all happen. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So Lucy Rose playing Grandview soccer for her team as well. And so they are 3-0. The best start from I think, Grandview girls soccer history, 3-0. So a good start. So keep it up, Grandview. Keep working hard. And Hank, good work to you.
Same to you.
I hope you're taking it a little bit easier this weekend than we did last weekend.
I am. Okay. We're playing baseball in Charlotte. So, we have that going for us. How about you?
Lucy Rose has a dance competition in Asheville that, we might go try and pop up there for a day. They have to spend the night, and daddies aren't allowed to spend the night in the hotels because it's all the girls and the mamas. So I'll be coming back down to Hickory, and
That's a rule? Dads can't stay?
oh, they can stay if you get your own room, but typically the girls and the mamas, they kind of share a big room so they can get dressed and do all that stuff, and the daddy would just be sitting out in the lobby, Anyway, so good luck to them. They had their dance studio had a really good competition last week. Lucy Rose finished 8th overall, which is really good. Another one of her friends finished 10th. Another little girl finished 6th. So they had a really good run. So hopefully it'll continue this weekend. So good luck to them.
Good luck.
And good luck to you, Hank.
Thank you.
Let's make it a good next 2 weeks.
Let's do this.
All right. And to all our wonderful big fan listeners, which we have a couple new ones. We got a couple new ones on the bandwagon now.
I heard you had to force-fed our podcast to Ben Duke when he was driving you home.
He asked for it. I'd even say, hey, let's listen to it. He said, hey, man, let me check out that podcast. And I received another text from a friend who said, hey, man, y'all been gone for a while. Big Fan's not over, is it? Please tell me it's not over. I was like, no. We're coming back stronger than ever. Never over. Never over.
Unless something happens to you. Then I'll fold this thing up.
Like a cheap tent. Hank, thank you. Enjoyed it. It's our listeners. We'll check you out in 2 weeks. And good luck to Gonzaga Bulldogs, who I've got in the finals. Peace.
One shining moment.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.